This is the Phillies Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Philadelphia Phillies. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
And the Phillies dropped 2 of 3 to the Chicago White Sox. At the same time, the news breaks that Dave Dombrowski did something. And not only did he do something, he did the thing that a lot of us were worried about him not doing, which was adding a bullpen piece. Now, that was the number one priority, according to reports. Matt Gelb of The Athletic saying that the number one priority of the Phillies was a back end of the bullpen guy. Well, they got the most further back guy you could get in a closer, an absolute stud of a closer, the best closer on the market. Take that, New York Mets. After you lost this sweepstakes, you went and you got Helsley for the Mets. Phillies, in the meantime, they get the number one guy on the market to close out their ball games. And I couldn't be happier about this addition for the Phillies. Johan Rojas comes into the Phillies clubhouse now, the Phillies bullpen to help close out those games. 100-mile-per-hour haters left and right, closing out games, saving games, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome, and I love it. However, we're halfway there, Dave Dombrowski. We're halfway there. This lineup, like today, for instance, now I don't think that you're going to be using Duran in situations where you have an eighth inning lead, seventh inning lead. I don't think he's going to see the game in the seventh inning like Max Lazar came in, who had been pitching better, obviously, as we've talked about many times, ready for those more high leverage situations since his extra inning affair against the Red Sox. I want to say that was pretty impressive. However, no matter how good your bullpen is, you still got to hit. No matter how good your closer is, you still got to hit. No matter how good your closer is, you want to put him in situations where he's going to get a save. And then for that, you got to be leading. And to be leading, you got to score more runs than the other team. And that still seems to be a problem for this Philadelphia Phillies ball club. So I'll say this. Eduardo Tate, catcher, designated hitter prospect in Clearwater, Florida. He goes in this deal to get Duran. Then you also ship out Mick Abel, who I think a lot of us saw that coming, that he was going to be a trade piece. And sure enough, that's exactly what the Phillies did. And they turned those two young players, one really good prospect, as a matter of fact, they turned that into a closer that more things work out for the Phillies down the line should help them in the postseason, if their bats actually hit, which is still a big concern of mine. Now, look, tomorrow, the deadline is not at 4 p.m. The deadline is at 6 p.m. Phillies have the off day tomorrow, so I look forward to seeing what else Dave Dombrowski has up his sleeve, because I'm wildly impressed with the first move. All reports out there are that the Phillies are just not going to move off of trading Andrew Painter. He's the same philosophy they had when they had an opportunity to get Crochet. They didn't get him because they weren't willing to part ways, a year ago, with Andrew Painter. And I get that. They think he's a stud, number one guy, think he can be, their best pitching prospect since Cole Hamels. So that's the way they look at Andrew Painter. So that I get. Now, as I said yesterday, the other idea here for the Phillies is that they're looking at Justin Crawford saying, you're going to be our acquisition. You're going to be the guy that's either going to be playing in left field or center field, or we're going to move Brandon Marsh around, anything like that. You're the guy. You're the guy that's going to help us out. Now, we'll know whether or not that's going to be the case probably shortly after 6 p.m. tomorrow, because, again, the Phillies are off. If we see something along the lines, and I doubt we'll see this tomorrow, but if we see something along the lines of Justin Crawford has been called up from AAA Lehigh Valley, that pretty much means that the Phillies are not going to be acquiring any other bat in this lineup. So we'll continue to follow the trade deadline as things develop. But I think it was Ken Rosenthal that had it out there saying that the Phillies and the Mets were both in on Johan Duran, and the Phillies won that sweepstake. So they ended up going over there and getting, the Mets ended up going over to St. Louis to get Helsley. So that's the way that worked out for them. As for this game tonight, wow, this sucked. 7th inning, Max Lazar just got tattooed. If you haven't seen the line, I'm going to go ahead and just put that right in front of you, all right? 1/3 of an inning. The man recorded one out, and it was a play at the plate where Rojas threw out Rojas. Yeah, you heard that right. One Rojas threw out another Rojas at home plate. That's always fun. And Max Lazar went on in that inning to allow 7 hits, to allow 6 runs, all earned, and gave up 1 home run. And it was a 3-run home run. But in that inning, they would give up in that inning, they would give up another 3-run home run. That one from Seth Johnson. How nice of him. He ended up finishing out that 7th horrible inning for the Philadelphia Phillies. So absolutely a rough go of it there for the Phils. After Taijuan Walker again for the 4th straight start gave you a chance to win the ball game. And this time around, the Phillies said, thanks, but no thanks. We'll blow this one for you. And that's exactly what they did, unfortunately. Now, the Phillies bats, they get 8 hits in this game. They drive in 3, obviously. Brandon Marsh got the home run for the 2nd straight game in the 9th inning of today, so that was cool to see. But still, you just want to see these Phillies bats produce more than what they did just in the 4th inning. 8 strikeouts in this one. 2 for 7 with runners in scoring position is the way that one went down for the Phillies. So let's get into 3 other big things.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Number 1 here, you talk about the player of the game. You could obviously look at the Phillies and look at Max Lazar as the player of the game, for a terrible reason, which is getting charged for 6 runs, all of them earned. That's a good time. And then you could also look in the other direction and just say, oh, my goodness gracious. The Phillies were absolutely 100% figured out today by Mike Vasil, who just dominated them. He came into the game in the 4th inning where the Phillies were starting out a nice little rally. Phillies had already had an RBI single courtesy of Nick Castellanos after a Bryce Harper double to right field. Castellanos comes up there, gets the RBI single to center. Marsh gets a base knock, so now he's on. Alexander, who started the game for the White Sox, for the Southsiders, left-handed pitcher, he's out. By the way, all this after a 3-hour and 35-minute rain delay, I believe it was. Alexander's out. Vasil comes into the game at this point. He gives up an RBI single to Otto Kemp. Then, after that, he gets Bryson Stott to ground into a 4-6-3 double play to end that threat. Thanks a lot, Stotty. And including that double play, he goes on to he goes on to retire 11 straight Phillies. 1, 2, 3, 5th. 1, 2, 3, 6th. 1, 2, 3, 7th. Rojas got a single off of him in the 8th inning. Marchand got a single off him. Turner ended up flying out, but there was a tag-up situation there, so he got 1st and 3rd with 1 out. Schwarber strikes out on a slider. Harper goes down. He was actually robbed of that 3-run home run. Benintendi rose up there and just took it away just like that. And that was actually off of, I think it was Isert that came up there after that. But that was a rough one. Rough one for the Phillies, but Mike Vasil just absolutely dominated the Phillies in this loss. Chicago White Sox now have 40 wins on the season. 2 of them courtesy of the Philadelphia Phillies. Ain't that something? But, it's not like the New York Mets went out there in San Diego and got swept or anything like that. Oh, wait, they did. Phillies lose a huge opportunity here to catch up ground on the New York Metropolitans. So that makes me feel a little crazy. As for the turning point in this one.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Yeah, Max Lazar entering the game. That's when everything changed.
This is what you'll be talking about.
I feel like you're going to be talking about the trade deadline more than you're talking about this one. I hope that this checks a major box for you. I am very excited about Johan Durand coming here to Philadelphia and being the closer and bringing all that great stuff he could bring to the table here for the Phillies. I am very excited about that. Now, you still got a little bit more than 24 hours. A little bit less than 24 hours. You got about 23 hours. 21 hours. Good Lord. 21 hours, Dave Dombrowski, to do something to help this. Do something to help out this this lineup. Now, Eduardo Tate is somebody that I'm sure you could have used to maybe get Eugenio Suarez, somebody you could have used to get Stephen Kwan. So go ahead and get creative there, fella. Go ahead and get creative, because this lineup is still the bigger concern for me. Still the bigger concern. I know bullpen would be the easier piece to add. They got a guy that's signed through the rest of this year, so it's not like you get control of him after this year. A guy like Steven Kwan, you're going to have control of. Eugenio Suarez, you're not going to have control of, so you're going to have to make sure that you're giving up, something that's worth it as far as not being able to have as much return on the investment as you would like for the long term, that is. So for me, I think Dave Dombrowski's halfway there. It's a halfway there is significant. Now it's doing something to shake up this lineup. And you know what? Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully they're able to keep a hold of everybody. And Justin Crawford comes up here and he's absolutely incredible. And that's the guy they're holding out for. I hope that's the case. That's a little hard to believe. It's a little hard to believe. Hey, by the way, you're going to be our savior in the outfield. Come on up, kid. Have at it. All right. When we come back, we'll get your thoughts on this trade. We'll get your thoughts on this game if you want to weigh in on this one. I will say there was one of the weirdest things I've ever heard during a baseball game today, and we'll get into that in a second. This is Locked On Phillies Postcast on Locked On Phillies YouTube channel. Perfect tie-in. How about the Game Time app? Maybe you're sitting around with your friends. Maybe you're in Chicago. Maybe you want to go to right field, you know what I mean? And you want to just heckle the booth announcers while you're down there at field level. Well, you know how you could do that? You could buy tickets to the game through the Game Time app. That's right. Game Time app is amazing when it comes to going to ball games, when it comes to football games, basketball, everything, even concerts and comedy shows. Make sure you download the Game Time app to your phone, create an account, use promo code LOCKEDONMLB. That's promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase on the Game Time app. And let's not forget about the Game Time Picks feature, which filters out all the fluff. Get right down to it, the best seats at the best prices. And how about those prices? Prices actually drop the closer it gets to showtime or first pitch, for instance. And you can save up to 60% off their killer last-minute deals. Tired of endless scrolling trying to find the best seats? Game Time Zone Deals, also the best way to go to find the right section for you. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets, as you could also view your seat before you buy it with the Game Time app. Download the app, create an account, use promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, use redemption code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. And let's say you want some energy while you're down there at the ballpark, down there at the concert, whatever it might be, the comedy show, you want some energy? Well, it's time to fuel up, maybe even in your leisure time. Maybe you're out there on the golf course. Maybe you didn't get a good night's sleep. You want to be out there on the golf course, making sure you're focused, hitting long drives, straight down the fairway and all that type jazz, focused on your putts. Well, 5 Hour Energy Transfusion is here, and it brings the bold grape, ginger, and lime flavor of your favorite golf drink, minus the alcohol, into a quick, energizing shot. Whether you're sinking birdies or just making memories out there with your friends on the course, this is a hole-in-one for the energy game. See what I did there? Let's be honest, some days you're just on the course and you're feeling a little bit off, but pop that 5 Hour Energy Transfusion, you're back in the game. Wildest shot you ever made? Think of it. Was it a fluke or was it a well-calculated miracle? For me, it was a fluke. The 5 Hour Energy make me focus enough to make sure I hit that ball hard enough and with more precision. Thank you, 5 Hour Energy. And how about this? 5 Hour Energy. If you go to 5hourenergy.com today, that is the number 5, hourenergy.com, you can use promo code LOCKEDONGOLF. That's LOCKEDONGOLF to receive 20% off your order. This offer is only valid until September 30th on one order and cannot be used with other promotions. The code is not good on subscription orders. For 5hourenergy.com, promo code LOCKEDONGOLF. As I alluded to, it was absolutely wild. Where we're at in technology just continues to absolutely blow me away. Literally, guys heckling the game, cheering on the game, whatever, were being picked up by the field mic, by the crowd mic, if you will. And then I guess their friends were texting them that Tom McCarthy and John Kruk can hear you, so say whatever. And at one point, and they're being alluded to the entire time by T-Mac and Crucker, they're far more interesting than, like Phillies offense, for instance, today. And Crucker goes, I wonder, people are probably texting them that they can hear us. And then one of the guys just goes, Crucker, come on down and see us. And then Kruk right on cue. No, just like that. I was like, we are communicating. This is amazing. All right, let's get into the chat check. I want to see what you guys have to say about all that went down today. Trade deadline and game included. Jess Patrick, wow, Rojas to Marchand for the throw. How about that one? Jerry Von Skyver, whatever Dombrowski does moving forward, pretending pertaining to this lineup. It won't matter. I don't give a damn. There was a 4-hour delay. The Sox have nothing to play for. Absolutely pathetic. I concur. Why does Topper leave Lazar in the game? I don't know. I can't explain it. The long leash he gives these guys when they're clearly struggling. 7 straight hits by Lazar, by the way. That's amazing. I'm not even mad. I'm a little mad, but I'm more impressed. How about that one? Morgan Landy, Duran. It's Duran, by the way. Johan Duran. Not Duran, Duran. I'm not saying you're saying that. You wrote this, so I'm not saying this is how you pronounce it. I'm saying for the people. Just because I know we're the city that just called Pat Burrell forever. Duran kind of lessens us losing a series. I agree. Still not happy about it, but that's not the story of the day is not that they lost to the White Sox. The story of the day is getting your closer. Mets get swept. We make a big acquisition, and Topper flushes our hopes and dreams. Joseph Grillo, right? Rob us of our momentum, Thompson. There you go. What a dog's breakfast, says Graham Francis. What a dog's breakfast. We honestly don't deserve to make the playoffs. And I'm not sure we will. Credit to the White Sox, but seriously, should be sweeping them. I concur. John, so Topper decides to leave Lazar in to give us 7 straight hits. Isn't that amazing? It's almost like Rob Thompson should be the manager anymore. It's crazy, right? By the way, I agree with you. Shouldn't be the manager anymore. Anyway, nice. Duran will keep us in games. Yeah, he's also pitched. He's had 2 outings this year where he's gotten 6 outs. So that's fun. By the way, he's younger. 4 years younger than Helsley, who the Mets got. Patrick Scott. Johan's still crying about his bat in the 8th inning over his 7th inning crap show. Right? Evelyn. What's up, Evelyn? This team and their management are just one disappointment after another. Might have to sell my tickets for Saturday's game. No, they're playing the Tigers. Evelyn, don't do it. You want to see the Tigers. Wait, the Mets bolstered their bullpen with 2 nasty arms. Are we including Gregory Seudo in that? RF, how you doing? Welcome, Johan Duran. Right. Abel and Tate. It is what it is. Philly and 8 PED suspension didn't help. You're damn right it didn't. Ray Amato, is it safe for me to open my eyes yet? Or are the bad, really bad Phillies still on the TV? I sure hope they are much better when I see them in Washington on the 15th of August. There you go. Enjoy that. Enjoy that one. Seabrook 9. Yep, I'm out. Yelp, I'm out. I'll see y'all in 4 years after the rebuild, 2 months and 500 baseball. You are who you are. Can't live on Schwar bombs alone, says Frank. That is correct. Michael Evans, Max Lazar on Jesus Luzardo's new book, How to Blow a Game in 1 inning. By the way, okay, so I've been honest about Max Lazar. Terrible performance today. Taijuan Walker was getting barreled, man. Barreled in this game. But yet, 5 innings, 2 runs. How about that? That's true. Mets already have Diaz, who blew the All-Star game. Tim G, who do you think can help with this mess of a lineup? Stephen Kwan. Stephen Kwan can help with this mess of a lineup. Now, he doesn't guarantee you the World Series, unfortunately. Eugenio Suarez doesn't even do that. But Stephen Kwan is unlike the other hitters you have in this lineup. Nick Castellanos, for instance. This guy ain't a free swinger. This guy's looking to work a count. This guy's just looking to get on base and live and play another day. Plus, he can steal bases. He's a all-star left fielder. He's a gold glover. Make that guy happen, and I'm a happy man. So if the Phillies don't go out there and add anybody, and you can get Justin Crawford up here at the major league level, and he could do somewhat of what Stephen Kwan could do, even if he's playing center and Marsh is in left, for instance, well, then I'm a happy camper. Tim G, pathetic is our hitting. I agree. Skies and Falling Ed says WW32. Oh, my goodness. Thank you for bringing that up, Jack Dwight. Nick Castellanos in that awful inning. Was he in slow-mo? Like, I looked at my remote. I literally looked at it. I was like, did I sit on something? Did I hit a button for slow-mo or something? Because what is taking so long in getting that throw home? He didn't even know he had the ball in his mitt. That makes me more pissed off. Brianna Torres, how you doing? Where's Nola? Throwing rehab assignments. Anthony, what's going on? So they got a closer, but won't do much good if the middle guys don't perform. Correct. Correctamundo. Bandman 100. Dave is halfway there. He's living on a prayer. Thank you, Bandman 100. I need that. Farzi, what a good I heard. We made a trade. Yes, Jason A. made a trade. Johan Duran is coming to the Phillies. He's going to be the Phillies' new closer. So there you go. Lazar needs to go. Dean, what's going on? Just a sad show of offense. I agree. Tommy Shrove, still need a bat in the trade. So do I agree with you, Tommy. We're only halfway there. Still, Dave Dombrowski needs to make a trade for a bat. Is Saturday Scooble in Wheels? I guess that would make sense, right? I thought they said it was Friday. That wouldn't make sense. Yeah, that's too short. Yeah, life's too short for that. Yeah, you know what I mean? Oh, Jack Flaherty. Jack Flaherty going against Ranger Suarez. That'll be a fun one. Flaherty 458. Wow, the Tigers. Oh, they went in a little bit of a free fall. Tigers and Phillies, 3 games separate them. That's bonkers. Didn't think that would be the case a couple of weeks ago. As for your Phillies, yes, you do have Ranger Suarez going tomorrow, or excuse me, Friday night. Then Wheeler Scooble Saturday at 4:05. And then Sanchez and Melton going on Sunday night for ESPN baseball. 24-year-old righty Troy Melton goes against Jaboy, Christopher Sanchez. So that'll be a fun one. As long as he doesn't give them bombs. Another left-handed hitter. I see what you're saying. He hits lefties. That's the difference. He'll hit 270 versus lefties, which I'll take if that still means I'm getting great defense. Mark C. Hi, Mark. Plain old buffoonery. Yeah, top of the order again. Not great. Team attitude looks bad. I just don't think they're good enough, unfortunately. Seabrook, just a Nicky Nips unappreciation comment. Thank you very much. Thanks, everybody in the chat. You guys are great, as per usual. I'll be back with you guys. So off day tomorrow for the Phils. Be back with you guys Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I will tell you next weekend, the Phillies are going to have a weekend series with the Texas Rangers in Texas. Most likely Saturday and Sunday. I'll be off those days. I'll most likely be off for this entire series. Friday is the 8:05 game. I'll probably be off this entire weekend. So no postcast most likely, but I'll keep you guys up to date. This is for next weekend, but I'll keep you guys up to date through this weekend with all that. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Make sure you guys hit like and subscribe. You got me for your Locked On Phillies postcast. You got Connor Thomas each and every day for your Locked On Phillies daily podcast. Again, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Make sure you guys hit like and subscribe. See you guys Friday. Bye.